welcome back. There's a question we need to ask ourselves and answer. How does the blood get oxygenated? So let's look at that quickly. The oxygenated blood, the deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle goes to the lungs where gas exchange takes place. How? The carbon dioxide in the blood diffuses into the alveoli of the lungs. This carbon dioxide will leave the body during exhalation. At the same time, oxygen in the alveoli of the lungs, diffuses into the blood. At this point, the blood becomes oxygenated. Oxygen is obtained during inhalation. It's that simple. So what we're trying to say is this. This is the alveolus. This is the blood capillary surrounding it. Like that. So oxygen is sufficient, is much here, and carbon dioxide is a lot here. So what happens is the oxygenated blood has gotten here now. So this is capillary anyways. So it moves in here, oxygen moves in here at the same time. So it means here what we have is deoxygenated blood. It means from here what we have is what? Oxygenated blood. It's that simple. So that's what that's why I used to, if we would still do that in this class, you see that capillary has two segments. Let me draw that for you real quick. So there's a segment that is deoxygenated, and a segment that is what? Oxygenated. That's what it is here. All right, because so as it's losing the carbon dioxide here, and it's picking up oxygen, is becoming oxygenated. All right. So it says here, this blood, which blood? This oxygenated blood goes back to the left atrium through what? Pulmonary vein. In case you ask me, how did this oxygenated blood get to the lungs? By pulmonary artery. If you check the previous video, it also explains that. All right. So this is what we're trying to explain. Then oxygen going to the blood, carbon dioxide going from the blood into the alveolus. That's simple. Sorry, I took the credit of this goes to this visible body. And it says here, the oxygen moves from the alveoli into the blood because of what? Higher concentration in there. While carbon dioxide moves from the blood into the alveoli because of higher concentration of carbon dioxide in the blood. Just what we'll be explaining all along. So on the other hand, how does the oxygen and glucose get into the tissue of the body? Let's look at that here. On the other hand, the oxygenated blood gets to the tissue and releases its oxygen as well as glucose present in the blood onto the tissue, while at the same time it picks up carbon dioxide another way. So it means that, I love this, it is dropping its oxygen to the tissue. This is the tissue, and the tissue is dropping carbon dioxide. So it means at this point the blood becomes deoxygenated. How nice. So it means deoxygenation takes place in the tissue, while oxidation takes place in the lungs. Let me write that. Deoxygenation. Please don't mind the rush form of me writing that way. It takes place in the tissue, while the oxygenation takes place in the lungs. It's that simple. So at this point, the blood becomes deoxygenated, and this blood heads back to the heart, to the right atrium of the heart. How does it get there? By inferior vena cava coming from the lower part of the body, and the superior vena cava coming out from upper part of the body. All right.